Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're here with a triple shot of Lucha Underground. And if you're boys and girls, maybe you shouldn't be watching Lucha Underground. It's just a thought.
Nah, I don't know. Get them started early. Twisted Little Minds. I'm good with it.
I mean, you might manipulate it. We are going to do this not all in one sitting, but we're going to recap episode 32, 33, and 34 of season 3, and then we'll be all caught up and up to date.
Correct. Since Mio decides never to get online anymore and only do racing.
Why do you lie to the people?
It's entertaining.
But it's misinformative. It's not nice.
Hey, I'm not CNN.
But I mean, you're lying as much as CNN does.
Yeah, but I'm not held up to a professional standard. I'm held up to an amateur standard.
We should hold ourselves to a professional standard, sir. We should be at least as good as the underground sport that we are covering.
You know what? Just to keep things in kayfabe, I am also a repo man.
Repo man.
And also, I may or may not live in a swamp and skin alligators.
So you're a combination of Repo Man and Skinner. I'm gonna go with Duke the Dumpster Drozy.
Fair enough. What about Roman the Dumpster Fire Reigns? Oh, sorry.
And of course, the obvious one, Sparky Plug.
Hey, Sparky Plug was a great gimmick. You shut up.
I didn't say it wasn't.
It's Thurman Sparky Plug.
Thurman Sparky Plug, yeah.
Get it right.
Which beloved of the OSW crew.
OSW. I love OSW.
So three match episode, really 2 match episode if we're being honest, because the opening one wasn't much. That would be being nice to it. We open up with Mask vs. Match Veneno, who is of course Ricky Reyes / Cortez Castro, versus Sexy Star. Take it away, sir.
Correct. Things happened. Joey Ryan came down. There was a shot in the nuts. The mask was removed. Cortez Castro, as previously known, is Veneno. They call him the Wino. And, pretty much it. Sexy Star kind of got in the ring. There was a move or two, and then she was wandering around going, what do I do now? Which is fine. This is pretty much all she's good for, because she's apparently a colossal bitch.
Yeah, we were making some Bitchenstein references for her location.
I believe she is located somewhere between France and Spain, or is that France and Germany? Is it Bichtenstein, I believe?
It's France and Germany, sir. The one between France and Spain is Andorra.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Moving on. I mean, Cortez Castro's demasked. We'll see where that goes. Then we go on to the Cueto Cup final. Prince Buddha versus Pentagon Dark.
See.
I really enjoyed this match. It was competed at a very high pace. A lot of striking exchanges, creative ones as well, doing some good work. Pumed sometimes really needs to put something on his strikes, though, that he doesn't always do. I'll just kind of throw that out there.
He seems to, and I might be wrong about this, but like he trusts, and rightfully so, a lot in his athleticism. So like that leaping, I thought it was supposed to be a European uppercut, but obviously that wasn't going to be the case. I think he got about 3/4 of the way there and went, I didn't have enough oomph on this. It's now a palm strike.
Yep. We got a flip pile driver in this match. We also got a top rope Rana. We were teased with the package pile driver from Pentagon, but that didn't go through. And, just a really good match, really well put together, and Prince Puma takes the win with the 630, and he takes the cup. Which surprised you.
We had a Mexican destroyer and a Southern Californian destroyer.
Mm.
Daddy likes.
And you were a little surprised by this. You thought it was going to be Pentagon to take the cup.
Yeah, well, I mean, spoiler alert, I saw... I've seen who is the champion for the last year and a half, so I thought this was going to be the push towards that title. Anybody who doesn't know, if you don't want spoilers, just don't listen from here on out. You got 3, 2, 1, spoiling time. Pentagon Dark is like the longest reigning Lucha Underground champion of all time. The problem is that it's never been on camera. So I kind of thought this is where we were going. This is going to be it. This is going to be the push towards that, and it didn't happen. So I don't know what the fuck.
I could have totally seen it, but I think at the same time, you got to get the Vampiro storyline kind of resolved to a degree, because Puma being Vampiro's new student, Dark being the old student, it would kind of devalue your ability to reuse the Vampiro storyline if Puma were to lose to Pentagon Dark.
Yeah, but I still thought that they'd put Pentagon Dark above the whole Vampiro story. Like, okay, you've got this. You tried with Pentagon Dark. It was all going very well up until the end, and then you got this new pupil, and maybe the new pupil, while having all the raw talent in the world, isn't as psychotic and awesome as your original. So I thought maybe that's where they were going to try and put him over to the point where you're like, okay, this guy's above a couple of different storylines now, so now here we go, and he'll beat everybody from here on out. But
also, you got to consider that Puma, I think Puma at this point was talking about signing with WWE, which is the continuous. Once the Lucha Underground is done and he's contractually released, it seems like that's where he's headed. Also, rumors that Dragon Lee might be. But
I really hope he doesn't sign, because I actually want to see him wrestle in his career from here on out.
That's true. But, Ricochet I'm not so worried about, because I think if he's signed, it's a big enough deal that they'll let him at least do things in the 205 division. But Dragon Lee, I absolutely don't want to see go there, because I think he'll end up like Andrade Cien Almost, which we had a very long discussion about on our last podcast.
Yeah, that's true. I just, you know what, I don't hold out any hope. Anybody with any wrestling ability, like wrestlers going to the WWE, I immediately write them off. Ricochet going to the WWE is going to be the end of... He's basically going to pick up at the end of Rey Mysterio's career. And he's going to be the job guy who flips around and isn't big enough, so he's going to lose to all the guys with any kind of biceps. Even though he's in amazing shape, he's an amazing athlete, he's an amazing wrestler, that's not going to matter to Vince, because Vince is stuck in 1972 and doesn't understand that if you can't clean and jerk 450 pounds, you can't be the champ.
I mean, there's definitely that possibility, but I think with the 205 division, he'll be allowed to do some things. Like, he won't end up like the Mysterio. That being said, I mean, I'm happy to see him just work independence and do New Japan stuff. But
absolutely. Hey, man.
If you want that payday, you want that payday.
That Taguchi Japan.
Taguchi Japan. So anyways, that was my justification for picking up the win here.
You know what? I like both those guys. I got no problem with Puma, Ricochet winning the match. I just thought that they were going to be starting to push the next guy. That's all. Well, I mean, next guy. Next guy really isn't accurate, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think they know that they can easily get Pentagon up to that level. I mean, he's there already.
I mean, he was beyond that level 2 years ago. When the whole, just a sidebar, like the whole hype around Lucha Underground, when they were still just putting out episode 1 and 2, or season 1 and 2 episodes, the whole hype around Pentagon Dark Jr., whatever, was amazing. Like, he was doing stuff in PWG, and the crowd was going fucking bananas. So, I mean, his hype is not questionable at this point. But I thought that maybe they would pay some of that off.
I wouldn't have disagreed with it, but I do like Puma going over here. I think I think it furthers Vampiro's storyline and the ability to reuse that going down the road.
Yeah, Vampiro as the trainer to the Psychotic Stars.
Exactly. Plus, I think, knowing who won the title match later on, I think that Puma versus Mundo, spoiler, is a better match than Pentagon Dark versus Mundo. I don't think that their styles necessarily mesh quite as well.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
So then we had Rey Mysterio, Johnny Mundo, and before the Cueto Cup final match, we had Benjamin Cook and Johnny Mundo pay a visit to Dario Cueto, where they basically threatened to leave if Mundo loses the title. And they wanted everyone but Worldwide Underground to be banned from ringside, which Dario did not give in to, and he actually played to Johnny's ego, telling him that you can. It was a well-written scene, actually. It was very good.
It was excellent. Well, I mean, hey, Vince! I'm going to harp on Vince again. Surprise, surprise. Hey, Vince! Maybe pull your head out of your ass and write some logical fucking storylines.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the only illogic of it is, of course, is that you have... and this is suspension of disbelief, but obviously, but the idea that a heel who gets booed would actually lose you money by leaving is a little bit silly, because the money that Rey Mysterio brings in is probably significantly larger.
I would have to
paying audience.
Oh, well, you know what? If I'm looking at this at a realistic standpoint, Rey Mysterio, let's be honest, his career 3/4 of the way over, probably. Yeah,
I would say more than that, actually.
Yeah, I would not disagree with that assessment. I'm trying to be a nice guy here.
I thought he'd be retired, but I'll be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, his career is mostly over, and Mundo's career is probably half over. So, yeah, I can see, from a kayfabe and logical storytelling progression, I can see going with the younger guy. But, Rey Mysterio, massive name, will make you the monies.
Mm-hmm. It's not like Mundo is super young. He's older than I think we generally think he is.
He's 97.
This is not that old. Ooh, if I look like that at 97, jeez. Mind you, me at 97 is dust, so, you know.
Oh, hurtful. That's not... dude, you're not going to be dust. You're just going to be a pickle.
Hey, look, I'm a pickle!
It's Pickle Mike!
Pickle Rick!
I mean, seriously, your liver might quit, but they'll have a special pump and filter, and it'll be fine.
My liver will be the last thing that quits. What are you talking about?
Last or first? I'm not really sure which one that's
Last. Let's be honest, the lungs will be first. Anyways, let's get to the match. We get Rey Mysterio versus Johnny Mundo. You know, I'm very mixed on this match. For about 3/4 of it, I thought that it was going like just really a lot slower than I thought it was, and not necessarily bad. Like I draw the line at saying bad, but it wasn't what I expected, so it didn't really live up to the expectations I had on both of these men.
Yeah, there lacked a certain dynamic aspect that I thought was going to be there.
However, I mean, we did get some really good stuff. Ray pulled out a Canadian destroyer, for the love of God.
Ray pulled out.
Also had an interesting spot where he just kind of misses a dive and ends up going out to the outside like a salmon. I was pretty big. I chuckled. It was good. And also a pretty nice deal here. He counters Starship Pain and then hits a split leg moonsault of his own. So kind of, I'm not that Starship Pain is just a split leg moonsault, because it goes beyond that. But indeed, kind of one upping kind of using Mundo's own arsenal against him.
Yeah, it was it's like a split legged moonsault with flair.
That just sounds like a split legged moonsault with extra steps.
It really is.
Which pretty much it is. We get a rep bump, and Mundo gets to go dirty with a kick to the balls. Also hit a lumbar check, so he gets his thunder stolen a little bit. He steals a little bit of thunder from Cedric Alexander.
I'm fine with it.
And then we get the I guess the in-ring debut, of Dominic Mysterio.
That was awesome. That kid has got something, and I think it's genetic. He went and kind of taunted Mundo a little bit. Mundo's like, what the fuck, whatever, step in the ring, bitch. And he did, and hit. There was a little bit of a disconnect between Mundo's timing and his timing, which I'm not really angry at, because it's, I don't know how many times Dominic's actually been in the ring. So... But there was like about a split second where Mundo was ready for it, and Dominic didn't quite hit the spear, but it turned into a double leg takedown, so it all ended up okay. And it was a hell of a double leg takedown, as it turned out. So, I mean, the kid's got some definite talent. He's definitely got some ring presence, because the camera got up in his face, and you were paying attention to that kid. You were right there, going, okay, right, let's go, young sir. And so I'm encouraged. I think he's got something. I would encourage him to not go into the WWE system, but I mean that's me beating a dead horse at this point, I think.
Oh, we've said it before. The WWE system hasn't proven to have any actual track record to speak of. So yeah, Dominic ends up hightailing it out of there. Actually, clocks the security guy pretty hard.
Oh man, that elbow was a thing of beauty. Listen. If that's a worked elbow, that was awesome, dude. Never lose that skill because that was awesome. I think, however, probably wasn't worked as much.
Probably a bit of a potato.
A little bit of a potato. Somebody might need some boiling water for that potato. Yeah. But it looked really good on camera.
And then we got probably not necessarily the biggest surprise because it was set up well, but if you were in the arena, it was sure as heck a hell of a surprise. Rey Mysterio hits the 619 and a frog splash, but the Dario Cueto comes up and breaks the pin up by pulling the ref out. And then actually gets up in Rey's face and clocks him.
Yeah, that was awesome. I enjoyed that. That's they basically took 3 months of the Austin McMahon feud and put it into like 2 moves.
Yep. It doesn't go well for Dario, of course, which is how it should go. Rey hits a 619 and on him, but it bought Mundo the time he needed to get the title belt and nail Rey in the back of the head before hitting Starship Pain for the pin. So, Johnny Mundo, still your champion. Well set up storyline, really enjoyed it. Like I said, wasn't super into the first, say, 2/3 of the match, but the last third, quarter maybe, really actually was really well done. They picked up the pace nicely, and they gave us a really good storyline, which gives us something to build in the future, which is basically Dario Cueto kind of in the pocket of the Worldwide Underground to a degree.
Yeah, I can see. Well, I don't know how they get. I'm not going to try and fantasy book that one. I'm going to just sit back and enjoy it, I think.
Well, I mean, I'll enjoy it if Benjamin Cook gets to meet to. I don't know. I'd like you to meet my brother Matanza.
Yeah, that was actually one thing I was saying while we were watching. Is I think perhaps Mr. Cook might meet the monster, but we'll find out.
Yep. Or he may run afoul of Mil Muertes and Katrina.
Yeah. Well, there's not really a reason for that at this point, but...
well, if Mil goes for the title.
Yeah, that's true.
Because one would think that Mil and Katrina aren't going to put up with this nonsense.
That is probably the truth, yes.
I was kind of hoping that they would do a Ricky Mandel run-in, because, of course, the threat was to fire whoever interfered. But Ricky Mandel has such a devoted following to Johnny Mundo, he's a stalker, basically, super fan, that you totally could have had that as the payoff to that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
He actually gives up his job to keep Mundo with the title.
I was really hoping that while they were doing the vignette in Dario's office, that when they did the whole audio sting of him walking in, it was like, bah, bah. I wanted Ricky Mandel to just kind of like melt in the background as a secondary figure, just like, bah, bah. But that would have been good. I would have loved that. That would have been the best.
So, by the way, congratulations to Lucha Underground for making us care about Ricky Mandel. That's a hell of a job. But that's all for this episode. There will be 2 more episodes after this, but there will be a brief thing because we're not doing it in one sitting. So I'm going to bed.
Mio's go to bed because he has to get up early and fucking wax his shoelaces and fucking curl his nose hairs or some shit.
Why on God's green earth would I wax my shoelaces?
I don't know. You're weird.
I mean, the nose hair curling, I kind of get it. I mean, you gotta be fashionable.
Wait, well, if you'd been started like a new fashion, you know how like the chicks wear the fake eyelashes for the extras, like super duper curl and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
What if you can get that going with nose hairs?
Mm-hmm.
It's a new thing.
I don't think I'm enough public figure for that, really.
I mean, you don't have to be. Just, nose lashes for men.
Nose lashes for dudes. And women.
Yes,
can't leave the women out.
Not men, dudes.
Dudes. You gotta be cool. So that's all for this episode. Kicking it for episodes 33 and 34 next.
Correct.
All right, in the time-telling tradition of I do love this shit, we're back for episode 32. 33,
makes me hard.
It does make me hard. Sometimes. Only sometimes.
It depends.
This episode did, though, do that. Not great in-ring action, really, by any stretch of the imagination. There's really only one match here to watch, particularly. But the storyline development was fantastic.
Yeah. It was... kind of the weird thing about Lucha Underground is that they can have some episodes that don't have great, I would say average matches. They can have episodes that have average matches, which don't really make you get up and go, oh my god, you gotta see this, or maybe even recommend watching a particular match on an episode, but you'll still recommend watching it because the episode as a whole is very good. And that's what I think 32 was pretty much
33.
In a nutshell. Well, I mean, watch 33, alright, because we watched 32 earlier, so we watched 33 and 34 today,
yes,
and 32 yesterday. I'm totally breaking kayfabe on our podcast, I'm sorry.
We already broke kayfabe on the podcast, let's be real.
Snap.
So we open up with Dario Cueto and Matanza Cueto having a little storyline development where basically Dario is incensed at Rey Mysterio. He's been violated by Rey Mysterio. And he's giving Matanza what he's wanted this whole time, which is a match with Rey Mysterio on the 100th episode.
Correct.
Which is next week. So then we go into Son of Madness versus our boy, Mascarita Sagrada. And it's a squash match, although Sagrada does get some offense in. But you know what's going to happen.
It's a little sad because they have kind of pushed Mascarita, enough to the point where this kind of match wasn't really necessary. You could put other people out there. Like Ricky Mandel could show up, and
Ricky Mandel's involved in other. The thing is, Sagrada links to Son of Havoc, and that's what brings it all around.
I totally understand that, but still, I mean, this is to the point. This is on the level of, why are you jobbing out Sami Zayn because he's awesome? Why are you jobbing out Mascarita because he's maybe kind of like even the mascot for the whole show, right? So why would you do this to a guy who we've only ever seen wrestle a couple of times, and it's never been like, it's not a Brock Lesnar or Goldberg or Undertaker type, like, oh my god, this guy is a destroyer. Or Matanza Cueto, or Mil Mascaras, Mil Muertes. I mean,
Mil Mascaras would work as well.
Yeah, so he's not on that level. Why are we squashing kind of the mascot of the show? That was my only gripe. Other than that, it was a solidly worked match. Everything worked fine. Everything was good, and the guy got heat for kind of kicking the shit out of the little guy.
We also finally figured out who Son of Madness is. He's Johnny Goodtime, so there you go.
Who's I've never heard of.
I have seen him work in CZW before.
Oh, work it, baby.
And so Havoc attacks him after the match to sort of save Mascarita, but more just vengeance. And security breaks it up. Dario comes out and makes a main event for this episode, which is going to be a biker brawl between Son of Madness and Son of Havoc. So it's going to be good.
I'd like to point out that I really appreciate the fact that the security guards have security written all over everything. Like, every inch of everything they own says literally security on it.
It defines their profession.
Correct.
Then we had probably the best thing on this episode, to be honest. And Melissa Santos is absolutely awesome. She's in the ring with Marty the Moth and Mariposa, and selling it incredibly well.
Melissa Santos is the champion of kayfabe in wrestling today, pretty much.
Pretty much, and very easy on the eyes as well.
I agree.
Cage, what were you thinking?
He was thinking with his deltoids.
Clearly wasn't thinking with his dick.
No, because that makes, even if you're thinking, listen, sir, if you're not thinking with your head, and you're not thinking with your heart, and you're only thinking with your dick, I don't know what your ex-wife looks like, but it does not look like that. Oh my god. All of the fuck-ups.
Pretty much. The match it's another squash match, basically, but with extra steps, basically.
This is like slavery with extra steps.
Our Hedis does get to hit a pretty kick-ass neck breaker, I'll give him that, but Mariposa busts him open on the ring post, and Marty's attacking the mask the whole time. Eventually gets the mask off. Arhenis hides his face as he rolls out of the ring with a towel. And Marty has collected himself a mask.
Yeah, this isn't the first time, is it? Like, he's done this before, right?
This is the first time he's actually gotten the mask. He's attacked the mask repetitively before.
Well, because I was thinking, this would be a great idea for a gimmick, in as much as long as you handle it like this. Like, dude got to roll out of the ring, he had a towel over his face, you can't see his face. But you've got this gringo who goes around ripping off and collecting masks. Maybe he's even got a belt, and he just clips another one to his belt. And, the only thing that would really crush the whole thing would be to actually give a luchador a win, because that would be less than ideal for your top heel. But eventually, you got the next guy. Probably any booker is going to screw this up and go, this is my cousin's kid, and I need to get him over, so I'm going to give him the first win over this Ultimate Destroyer guy.
Probably at some point.
But other than that, that to me would be a really awesome gimmick. I don't know if they've ever done it in Mexico, but I think it would be a good idea.
Marty challenges Phoenix to a mask match at Ultimo Lucha, and Phoenix responds by super kicking both the Moth and the Butterfly.
Correct.
And Melissa gets on the mic, and Phoenix and her... Basically, we wind up with a mask versus hair match, where it'll be Phoenix's mask versus Marty the Moth's hair. Which, let's be honest, his hair could solve the world's oil problems.
That's possibly true. Him and Joey Ryan's chest hair.
Speaking of Joey Ryan.
And pubic hair.
We have Joey Ryan versus Sexy Star.
Wow. I was really... When they first came out I didn't know this match was happening. But when they came out, and it's Joey Ryan versus Sexy Star, I'm like, this could be all of the sleazy greatness. This could be the match that could define Joey Ryan's career. And it was true to Sexy Star fashion, just kind of alright enough.
It made me laugh. It gave me the action. It gave me everything I expected from it, to be honest.
It made me laugh too. It was alright. It was good. It was alright enough. Like, it wasn't anything that I won't remember this match probably by noon tomorrow. It wasn't that entertaining.
I'll remember the areola suplexes.
Areola suplexes, yes. And that's the areola toss, sir.
Yeah, right. It wasn't really a suplex.
But, that'll probably stick around. But that's Matt Stryker. That had nothing to do with anything in the match. Well, he was calling a move, but that could literally happen between any two wrestlers.
Matt Stryker had fire, by the way, for both of these episodes.
Fuck, Matt Stryker had all of the comments and all of the lines. Holy shit. But this is a truly Sexy Star-esque match in that it was alright enough.
Highlights of the match, really don't have any outside of the aerial toss.
He was gonna give him. I was really hoping he was gonna get extra heat at the end with the lollipop, but you gotta have. We gotta have the baby face make a save. Blah blah blah.
I'm fine with it because the feud between Joey Ryan and Cortez Castro is it's really good.
Yeah, no, I totally like the payoff, which we'll get to next episode. Was good. Was really, really, really good. But you could have had both. You could have had him get extra heat, and you could have had. Can you imagine if he would have got the extra heat with the lollipop plus the match next week?
That'd be fantastic. But
yeah.
But anyways, the storyline of the match was actually that Taya was out there with a sexy star sign, and
which I appreciate,
acting like a trolling fan, basically.
She's like a really evil Mickey James.
Kinda, yeah. I like that. It's a good combo. Sexy Star, it costs her the match because she does a Luthez press to the outside and tries to beat down Taya. And she gets back in the ring, gets kicked in the face, and gets pinned for the 3. So Joey Ryan gets easily the biggest win of his Lucha Underground career. And Cortez Castro, as we said, comes in to save Sexy Star with it from the lollipop with kendo stick shots.
The long dawn of the law.
The long dawn of Joey Ryan. Then Cortez Castro has a meeting with Dario Cueto. And Dario knows he's a cop. Tells him he knows he's a cop. But that he impressed him. And that kind of violence, it can't be faked.
Correct.
And basically this leads us to, there's going to be an Aztec Medallion match next episode 34, in a 5-0 street fight between Joey Ryan and Cortez Castro.
Yeah. When they said, I mean, I'm literally sick and tired of gimmicked street fights that never, ever, ever mean anything.
Well, especially as we're coming up to a Boyle Heights bar biker brawl directly after this.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, great. Another street fight that they gave a fancy fucking title to that means nothing. But, as we'll cover next episode, they actually did some cool stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty well done.
Like, Pro Star, thumbs up, guys. Way to actually use logical, progressive thinking and do a thing that doesn't suck.
Well, it's Lucha Underground. You trust him to do some things like that.
Yeah, well, I trust him, but only so far.
Then we had the aforementioned biker brawl between Son of Madness and Son of Havoc. Not as many high spots as you would think between these two guys, to be honest. But this was like the most on crack street fight of all time. Like, while they weren't doing a lot of per se flippy stuff, it was at a really, really fast pace.
Yeah, they were doing some. They did not waste any time at all during any part of this match. There was some stuff where Son of Havoc went and tried to do I don't know what against the barricade and ended up like I thought he was going to try. He did like a jumping kind of strike-ish type thing, and I thought he was going to come out of that selling a knee strike, and he came out selling an elbow strike, and I was a little confused at that point. But other than that, I mean, they just worked all night until it was time for the bell.
And of course, you had your standard plunder stuff, kind of bar-themed stuff, but also some biker-themed stuff. Like, there was a hammer involved at one point.
Yeah, that was kind of scary, because it was like, like, I know this is pro wrestling. I know this is going to be a gimmick match. I know that the hammer is not going to land, but if you fuck up even for a little bit, oh, man, that's going to be bad.
That could be very, very bad. We had a garbage can in there. Death Valley Driver from Havoc onto the garbage can was probably the highlight of the plunder spots. I also love the double stomp to the outside from Son of Madness, and Havoc returned the favor later on and actually left footprints on Havoc's back, or Madness's back, which is pretty cool. They referenced that a couple times. And the ending comes with Madness trying to use the hammer, and Havoc counters with a beer bottle shot to the head, and then hits a shooting star press to get the big W and possibly the blow-off of this feud?
I wouldn't really think so, because they've tried really hard to impress upon us that this guy's not going to quit until he gets what he wants. So I don't think it's going to be the blow-off, but with a match like this, it really should be. So... But the combination of the bottle smash and shooting star press, the timing, the execution between those two moves was excellent. And it was New Japan, who we're big fans of, but may at times need to take lessons on how to end a match. I mean, that's the kind of abrupt kind of bam, bam you need to sometimes hit. Not give us the sickest move in the match, and then like a minute and a half more of action.
Yeah, that's definitely the New Japan signature that sometimes definitely takes away from their matches.
Sometimes.
So then we move on to episode 34, because that was the end of episode 33.
Correct.
And we open up with another Aztec Medallion match between Drago and the Mac.
I would like to point out that I appreciate the ref holding it like it's like a single testicle in a bag or something like that.
That is interesting.
He just kind of dangles it and doesn't really. He puts his hand underneath it, but doesn't touch it. Like I don't really want to touch it. This is not good.
It's a little gross. So the match itself, kind of your typical Mac, typical Drago in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Some interesting theatrics from the Mac. Gives him the finger, but he also does some gyrating on the ring post, which was confusing. Horrifying.
Attractive.
Maybe a little bit erotic.
I mean, I was already hooked when you started picking his hair out, so I mean, I'm good there.
That's true. He is the baddest man with a muffin top look in existence.
That son of a bitch stole my line, but I appreciate it.
I steal your lines all the time, sir.
That's correct.
You also steal mine sometimes.
That's not true.
Don't lie to me. Back basically in control of the match, but we get a distraction from Cobra Moon. A really freaking blatant distraction, by the way. Holy shit. Like, she's yelling across the ring at him.
Yeah. You know what? I keep saying this. I appreciate that. There are way too many people who try to be the next... I don't know, like the next Bobby Heenan, the next Mr. Fuji, the next Slick, who those guys really had. They were able to mask their little kind of intricacies and little things with a lot of boisterousness, and a lot of these guys are trying to do that too much, whereas they should just try and be kind of more smooth with what they're doing. And this was sort of I don't know much about who, like, I don't know who Cobra Moon is. I don't know what her gimmick is outside of Lucha Underground. But this looks like kind of the first step in her career as a manager of, I know I gotta attract a lot of stuff to myself. I gotta draw a lot of heat so that I can transfer that onto the babyface. But she doesn't seem to have much else in the way of anything that's not very, very overt.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. She's just like yelling, I'm not doing anything when the refs like get down. I'm like,
what are you gonna do, Mac? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do, Mac? The distraction works, and Drago hits the pin that never ends, the dragon's tail.
Jesus.
To win the gold. And then Mac stunners the crap out of Drago. He's going to stunner Cobra Moon, but the other reptiles come down to save him, or save her, and beat down the Mac. Which, I'm assuming this is what leads to the formation of Killshot, Dante Fox, and the Mac as a team. To go after the reptiles.
I would have to assume so. These guys, like, the problem is that they shot all these episodes like a year and a half ago. So if you look on Wikipedia here in September of 2017, you'll notice that a lot of these guys have been champions for shitloads of time, which is a little misleading. Which I'm finding at this point in the, like, getting towards the end of the third season, I'm getting a little disappointed. Like, I thought that I was going to see guys that I was introduced to a long time ago be awesome for an extended period of time, and I'm getting none of that right now.
That is the problem with the current behind the schedule, when it was taped, when it's released, because we're like a year behind.
Yeah, at least a year.
And, it is what it is. I mean, what you really going to do about it, I suppose.
We're going to cry!